Good evening, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. I am gonna take a shower and get to bed, guys, so I'm gonna try and get in there sort of quick because it's actually a little later than I was expecting. I don't know. Okay, me and Jack didn't go walking this morning because it was originally supposed to rain. Jack kept looking at like the the forecast for tomorrow, and it was originally supposed to rain from like 6 p.m. until like, I don't know, like noon or something weird like that. And then the time kept getting shorter and shorter, but it kept being really close to like 8-9 o'clock, which is when we normally go walking. So it was like originally like several hours worth of like, you know, rain in the forecast to like all of a sudden being like 6 hours and 4 hours and 2 hours. It didn't end up raining at all this morning. It downpoured, like torrential downpour during the day today. The horrible thing was that my dad and Jack went to football, like the weightlifting that they have on Thursday. My mom was upstairs sleeping. I was in my room. I had my window open and none of the rain was like blowing into my room. So I was like, okay, like, you know, I wasn't thinking anything of that because there's no rain coming in. I didn't even bother to think that like the other places in the house could potentially, like the rain could be coming in the window. I'm just thinking like, oh, it's not coming in mine, so it must be like not blowing in, you know, whatever. So since it wasn't a concern for me, I figured it's not a concern for the rest of the house, so I didn't even think or like bother to go and check any of the other windows that were open because it's been so hot. So we've had the windows open and we don't have the air conditioning on yet because it's just barely May, guys. And you know, like it seems crazy to have the air conditioning going in, you know, like even to like today was like 82 I think is a high, and it's supposed to be, I think, like warm maybe tomorrow. Then it's supposed to like kind of get a little cool. Like I honestly want to say maybe Saturday is supposed to only be like 60, and then it's supposed to be maybe Sundays like 70, then it's supposed to be back up like 80s again. So honestly, we might need to open the windows. But like the weird thing is that today was not actually like really hot, even though, and it wasn't humid either too, like that bad, even though it was raining. So like even though I kind of feel a little hot like right now, I'm just, again too, it's the end of the day. Because our house is brick, it like tends to keep the heat in, especially more at night, which is really good like in the winter time, but in the summertime it's not so great when you're trying to like cool the house down. We also too don't have any trees on our property. We have, well, other than on the parkway, there's one that they put in last year, but other than that we have no trees on the property. So it also doesn't help like that it doesn't, like, the house is not shaded at all either, so it doesn't, you know, like all the sun, you know, like radiates into the house and then it just kind of stays there, like, you know, the bricks keep the heat in then at night. And so it always seems like at night the house gets very warm, unless again too you have like the air conditioning going and stuff like that. But I always notice at night it seems like it's warmer in the house, again too, not so much like in the winter because it's cooler out at night. In the winter time, like, it obviously the furnace needs to run, but it seems like during like the warm season, like, you know, right now it's like when it gets warm then it kind of stays in the house at night, it seems like more. I feel like that's kind of what we're dealing with right now, at least today. Like during the day it was not bad at all, even into like the early evening, and then like late evening it seemed like it was getting very warm, kind of not like really warm, like all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I can tell it's like a 10-degree difference. It just feels like it's a little warmer, and like also too the humidity feels like it maybe is a little bit higher. So I don't know if that's also why, but it does feel the slightest bit warmer right now. So anyways though, I went to go and check the windows, and the living room for the most part was pretty much okay. The front windows, the side window was a little bit, it had rained in a little bit, like there was like rain like came in and was on like the windowsill. The bathroom was fine. Jack's bedroom, he actually had his windows closed. We don't have the windows open in the back room. I actually think my dad might have painted in there because it smelled like fresh paint today. But me and my mom actually were gone. We were out running an errand. It was funny too because when we were in the store, it was raining, and then right before, like when it was like drizzling, then I think it downpoured because when we came out, it was like soaking wet, like all over the entire like parking lot. But it wasn't that bad, like, you know, when we like got into the store. So I think we just missed it. And then when we came back home, like I said, this was like a while later, it started like downpouring again. And so I, like I said, checked all the windows, they were fine. So like I said, all the other windows were okay except for the living room window and the kitchen, which has the garden window. So the windows stick out from the, you know, the house, and they're like crank windows, so they like open out. Like it's not like they open like up, or you know, like it's like flat and then like, you know, like the rain comes in from like the bottom, or you know, like it's more protected at the top. No, they crank out, so they were like fully open on the side, and it had rained all over. Like there was like a puddle of water on the, like, I don't know what you call that. It's not like the window sill, because it's like the garden window. It's not like in a part of like the counter either, but you know, like all over like the window sill, I guess, sort of, was all completely soaked. And so, and we had plants up there, because those are plants that we've been growing from seed that we're putting in the garden within the next few weeks. And yeah, they're all in there, and they were probably so happy because they all got rainwatered on today. But I had this huge problem, because like I had to get up onto the counter. I was sitting on the counter trying to move the plants and like move them off so I could move them onto the table so I could wipe up the puddle of water that was there. Yeah, it wasn't good, guys. I should have thought to check that, because again too, like, you know, like I was saying, with the living room windows, like most of the time that's what we deal with if we're like, oh, you know, oops, we left the window open, like it rained in a slight bit. You know, again too, it's like, oh, we got a little water like on the screen, maybe a little bit on the windowsill, whatever. But because these are like literally exposed, they're not like covered by like the slight bit of the roof, like overhang or anything like that. No, they're just like free floating out there in the middle of the yard, and all the rain came right in. And also too, the wind was blowing, and it was blowing, I think, specifically from that direction. So there was one side that I think was worse than the other, and so it was just like completely blowing right in. And so yeah, that was fun. Got to clean all that up. But anyways, so we didn't go walking today because that's what we were expecting this morning, which didn't come until the afternoon. And so I think though, because we didn't go walking today, I was a little lazier, like the slightest bit lazier today, and like I just didn't have much. I don't know if I was tired, and also too, like I didn't wake myself up. Like my brain was not awake this morning because we didn't go walking, and like I'm so used to that now that like if I don't have like something to kind of get me going in the morning, then I'm like just kind of lazy throughout the day. And I felt like that's kind of what it was. It also could have been the heat, maybe, and the humidity too, but I just didn't have much of a desire to go and do anything. Like again too, me and my mom had to go and run the errand, like I said, but other than that, I was just not feeling it today. Like I went in the living room, I put my headphones on, I was working on some pictures, and after like an hour, I was like, I've gotten through like a, you know, like a handful of pictures. Whereas like yesterday, like doing that, I had gotten through like just in a few hours again too, I had gotten through so much stuff. And then today it was like I couldn't get anything going, and I feel like it was just my brain was not there. Like I just couldn't like work today. And like I don't know too, none of the music, like because I told you guys too, I stopped working yesterday because my Spotify was not working and it was down, and so I couldn't listen to anything while I was working. So I'm like, okay, I'll just work on it tomorrow. Well, again too, today, now I'm not in the mood, and it was like all the songs too, like yesterday I was like jamming out, and you know, just like felt really motivated, and you know, like I said, the music was very inspiring to like keep me working and everything like that. Today it was like I didn't feel the music. I wasn't, you know, like I was just getting like the photos, like I'd find one and be like, oh, this has to go in like this, you know, like, you know, spot or whatever, and then I'd go and be flipping through to try and find like that, where that photo is supposed to go, and I find another photo and be like, oh, I know which one this goes with, and then I'd be, you know, so like that's where I am right now. Everything is like mostly organized except for the stuff that's not, and that's the problem because of these other photos that I found, and I didn't have them all together at the same time. So yeah, because I set them aside thinking I was going to either ask my mom about them, or I don't remember why, but I put them, you know, set them aside in another box, and then I just found that I still had that box to go through, and now I'm trying to go through it. Now that everything's organized, it's making it difficult to like have to go back through the organized photos instead of just having like everything all laid out at once like I was at the beginning, which is why I felt like things were moving a lot better. But now that I don't, and like everything's put away, and like on the verge of being done with, I have to go back through now all of the like done and organized photos to try and find and match them up with the ones that I just found. Today, I wasn't feeling it. I felt lazy today. I just was not, you know, like it was just one of those days. And I feel like I did push myself to try and get some things done, and I did get a little bit done today. But like at the same time too, I feel like it's not good to push yourself so much when you're doing something, I mean, in whatever it is that you're doing, especially too if you just don't feel like doing it, because then you will be resentful of it and you'll probably end up putting it off for a really long time after that. I don't want to do that. My plan is to work on it tomorrow, but I just put in a very minimum amount of work today. Also too, in the evening, she ended up going to sleep kind of early, so like when I was working on them, she was planning on going upstairs and going to bed, so like I couldn't have her really help me with them either, the ones that I'm still a little unsure about. But yeah, anyways, I've got like, okay, maybe a little bit more than a stack that big, but it's like really close to only being like that many photos left. Like, you know, a stack of photos. It's not like I've got boxes of photos. Like, that's literally all I have left. And I just wish that I could just like focus enough to get them done, and right now I just, like today, I just didn't have that. My mind was somewhere else and it was not working on photos today, and I realized that, and so it just felt like wasted time. Whereas if I would have done something else that I kind of maybe wanted to or needed to do just to take a break from it, I could have been more productive than trying to work on it today and got really nothing done. So anyways, I'll try more tomorrow, but I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give the gold thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all over sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.